action.
You're in the helicopter, it's loud, you got your fins on, your wetsuit, mask, snorkel, ready to go, and then you jump.
Danger.
You can hear the ice hissing and cracking all around you.
Adventure.
When you cross the equator, you have to ask King Neptune's permission to become a shellback.
You're listening to Sea Story.
Episode 44, Relentless.
My name is Alexander Mosheim. I'm a naval aviator in the United States Navy. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and this is my sea story. I joined the Marine Corps Infantry out of high school. Before I went into the Marine Corps, I had always had the dream of becoming a pilot. Originally, it was to become a naval pilot, but I did not have the grades in high school. I didn't like school that much, and I was way too spastic to go to college at the time. So I joined the Marine Corps, and I wanted to do something as intense as I could possibly find. I served for 4 years. During that time, I deployed twice, once to South America on a short cruise doing humanitarian work, and once to Afghanistan for combat operations. It was not an uncommon dream for a junior enlisted infantry marine to want to become a fighter pilot. Towards the end of my time, I took the SATs, applied to Ohio State University, and ultimately got accepted and started at OSU. And at Ohio State, my first summer, I was pretty severely injured in a climbing accident. So I was permanently disqualified from any military service. So I just studied. I studied mathematics. I ended up getting a few jobs. And I was totally fine with being a civilian for the rest of my life. Well, I wasn't fine with it, but I thought that if I had to be a civilian for the rest of my life, then so be it. When I was forced to not take the career path that I had wanted as a child to become a naval pilot, I was forced to switch gears to still work towards that meta life goal. NASA has a program called the Pathways Program, which allows them to hire people before they've graduated college. So they'll hire you and be like, we'll pay for college as long as you work for us afterwards. I got hired through that program. So I was a guaranteed NASA employee for when I graduated. But then when Skunkworks offered me an internship, it was like, well, this is the pinnacle of aerospace R&D. So I quit NASA and went there. I worked specifically on modeling light as it moved through different material. It was way cool. But I worked with a naval recruiter for about 2.5 years, petitioning, getting disqualified, petitioning, getting denied. They wouldn't even give me a physical to be seen by a military doctor. These hip injuries that I had gotten from climbing were so disqualifying that the Navy wouldn't even take a look at me to see if I could be fit for service. So I was going to Ohio State University, which has this amazing sports medicine program, and that's who did all the work on my hip. So they were able to provide the Navy with any and all information. So they got packets of surgical notes on me. They got every MRI ever done. What I'm trying to say is the Navy got the best of the medical paperwork that they could have possibly got. They ended up doing a full line of tests to show with data that both sides of my hips were symmetric, to show that I was completely fine. Ultimately, none of that worked, but I just didn't stop trying. I kept on getting different waivers and stuff like that, and eventually, one day,
Hello?
I got a phone call saying that my waiver had gone through. It was amazing, because that was the first time that had happened in 3 years. So I flew to Columbus and was seen. Then come October of that year, was approved to join, approved to commission, put in my package for flight school, and then was selected on Valentine's Day 2018. I mean, that was the dream ever since I first saw Top Gun when I was a little kid. I've always wanted to go fast and be on the leading edge of the spear. The culmination of a dream that I wanted so much and that I worked so hard for I really had to place faith in that if I just kept on trying, something would work out. And the fact that it did makes me very happy. The end goal dream is becoming an astronaut. The idea of really doing something dangerous, the idea of doing something that is as far from the normal human experience is very attractive to me. And I believe that the Navy has that opportunity. To hear more stories like mine, subscribe to Sea Story today.
Coming next.
I did have to learn how to climb electrical poles. I looked up and the pole was maybe about 30 feet up.
Sea Stories brought to you by America's Navy. Learn more at Navy.com.